Hello and welcome to this weather video. As we head into the latter half of February, we had a little light snowfall overnight. Actually amounted to 1 to 2 inches, but luckily it had melted as the temperatures warmed up today. But however, yeah, this is what it looked like tonight. Clear sky, but a little on the hazy side, as we're going to deal with worsening air quality, I think, as we head into I can notice the change already tonight. But it was very still with light winds, and we're going to go over the snowfall totals there. So let's go and take a look at the snowfall totals. Not a whole lot for Connecticut or northern New Jersey. However, Long Island and the city actually wound up getting some snowfall out of this. So we'll just like Brooklyn had a 1 inch amount. Nassau County, Merrick had 2.6 inches. Farmingdale had 2.2 inches. East Williston had 2.1 inches. So around 2 inches of snow for a lot of Nassau County. It was a very wet snow, and it melted pretty quickly. It was around in the morning, and then by the afternoon, it was gone. See it on the roofs and the sidewalks, but it luckily melted pretty quick. And so I didn't even want to look at it, right? Central Park got 1.1 inches of snow. Belrose got 2.1 inches. In Suffolk County, the highest amount was in North Babylon, 2.8 inches of snow. By Shirley Airport, 2.2 inches. Bayshore got 2.1 inches. Islip Terrace got 2 inches. Lindenhurst got 2 inches. Islip Airport got 1.8 inches. Upton got 1.5 inches. So 1.5 to 2 inches, generally speaking. Some areas got a little bit less further out east, 1 inch in Riverhead. So that's generally what we got. Not a huge snowfall, a little more than we were expecting, because I guess there was just more moisture in the system for obvious reasons. So yeah, that's what we went through. As far as today's climate report at Islip, a high of 37 was 4 degrees below normal, a low of 28, 2 degrees above normal, putting us an average for the day. It's still only month to date, 0.15 inches of liquid. Which is well below the normal amount of 1.77. And snowfall today was 1.6 inches. The normal value is just 0.4 inches, oddly enough. That's kind of weird that it would only be 0.4 inches of snow. Oh, that's for the day. I'm going for, let's go to the month to date is 3 inches, but still below normal in the snowfall for February. 5.9 is what we're supposed to be seeing at this time, so which is very interesting. Very interesting to see that, obviously. You'd think that, but that's because it's mostly old snowpack that just doesn't want to go away, unfortunately, and that's the main issues that we're having. So let's just go and look at the preliminary monthly data for Islip, just see how we're running as far as temperatures go, if we can get that information or not. All right, maybe that's not going to be available. Okay, well, we'll try it again. Still not showing. All right, well, I guess we're not going to be able to access that. I wanted to see how below normal we were running, but apparently that is not loading for some reason. Well, that works, but the preliminary monthly data does not work. Okay. Well, I guess it's not going to work because they broke something on the weather service page. We all know who broke it. Anyway, you know what I mean by who broke it. Doge! That kind of stuff. Anyway, you could see some clouds starting to come back in. We did have, again, some breaks, especially toward the afternoon. It got fairly the sun, like late in the afternoon. It got more sunny. But if we look at the conditions at Islip, which we'll get to the rest of the country in a moment here, but if we look at the current conditions at Islip, right now it's down to 28, so we are getting some radiational cooling. I don't know how far it's going to be able to drop because the dew point's 25, but if you look at the skies today, we've had northeast winds and a little bit of a light southwest wind. Actually went a little southwest, actually, believe it or not, in the evening. But you'll see we had clouds, and then they sort of started breaking up by like after 2 o'clock a little bit. So we had a little sunshine there. Wasn't a nice blue sky or anything, but we did have some sunshine, and now it's 28 at Islip. And West Hampton is down to 22. Farmingdale is 29. JFK is 32. LaGuardia is 37. 36 in Central Park. Looks like 29 at White Plains. At C. Miller Air Park. West of Toms River, 24. And the Alley. Yeah, the Alley is 41 degrees. 41 degrees, actually. Yeah, I know. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Can't get that cold air here, that's for sure. Nope. And, what can I say? Yow! So, anyway, let's look at the weather map. And you see we have a little front here. This is going to be more like a warm front versus anything else. We go look at the surface analysis. You can see there's a warm front there. Here's the surface analysis. You see that warm front and this low. That's going to give us our next chance of precipitation overnight. So we're going to have to look at that. And looking at the satellite for the whole country, you see that big storm in the Pacific there. That's why we have all those warnings out. We'll go over the lows this morning. Let's see what we got down to this morning. 21, 27. I think these are the current lows because overnight we really had the snow, so it kind of kept the temperatures up. So I think these are the current lows. 24, yeah, these would be the current temperatures. And the high temperatures today, upper 30s, upper 30s generally to around 40. So close to average. At least we got rid of all that snow. Anyway, as we pull this out, you'll see that we've got a big storm in the west here. Blizzard. Where's that? Is that a red flag warning? So we got red flag warnings for the Central Plains. High wind warnings as well for like the Rockies, east of the Rockies, and all these winter storm warnings and stuff. So this is the storm that's going to be a more weakened form as it gets to us later in the week, but that will be bringing us our next chance of probably more substantial precipitation at this point. Yeah, that's what we got going on. So let's look at the models now, and we'll take a look at the pattern that we have that we're heading into. And unfortunately, this week is going to be kind of a crappy pattern. Let's look at the jet stream here first, and we'll look at the GFS, I guess, to start. And you'll see that jet stream is more zonal now, and that means we are in a parade of systems here, a little bit of a trough in the west. That trough continues to be over us, and then there is a trough that develops. That trough continues to be over the west, I should say, and we have a lot of jet stream energy over us on Friday. And then behind that, we do have a dip in the jet stream that will bring colder weather for next week and the final week of February. A little bit of a cool down, it looks like, according to the GFS. I see more troughs developing here. All right. Looking at the European. We'll go to the 12Z Euro because that goes further out. This is the European. And you'll see here's the European. There's our systems passing through. There's another system there. You can see the waves of energy passing through. And then there's that trough again next week as well. And it has a couple of troughs coming through. So there will be a return to some colder weather, I think. So let's go look at the upper air here. So here's the upper air report. All right. So this is the upper air report. And you'll see here that our 500 report, or whatever you want to call it. See that zonal flow that we have. We don't have a block in Greenland, so we're not getting the colder air like we were before. We got this zonal flow, but you do see that there's a trough here. But the problem is that there's also a trough over Greenland, so that's not a blocking pattern. So the cold air comes and then it goes, it leaves, and then, yeah, there's no real, you can see that there's another batch, but unfortunately, for those, it looked like we had like maybe 2 or 3 weeks of winter weather, and then we're kind of back to a abnormal pattern where the Arctic is cut off. That's what it looks like right now. GFS, we'll go to the GFS next. Similar deal here. There's that trough. GFS a little deeper with that trough, by the way. And we have to watch. Now, right now, I don't think there'll be a coastal storm with it, but we'll have to see if that happens. There will be a ridge air behind that, and then a little trough. So whatever cold we get won't be a long-lived thing like we had. It'll last maybe 2 to 3 days, and that'll be it. So let's go to our temperature anomaly chart here. Go over this, and you see the warmth that we have this week is going to be spreading into much of the country east of the Rockies. But you notice our area isn't in the bright pink because we've got backdoor cold fronts. They're going to be a problem in keeping it'll A, keep the temperatures down, B, keep clouds around, and possibly bring in sucky drizzle. So you see there we're still above normal here going to Saturday, and then here comes that outbreak of cold air that we have Monday into Tuesday. That's going to be pretty chilly according to the GFS. I do see those purples, so that would mean colder air, and I keep it on this wider view here. But you see it's short-lived, and then it warms up again. So it's not going to be with us for like more than three days probably. Going ahead and looking at the European, you'll see here again that above normal temperatures, and then they go down a little bit. European also brings the cold air in again, right, but then it kind of leaves, and then we see a moderation and back to above normal again. So whatever the case is, it won't last for too long. So we'll pull in closer. We'll look at the surface, and go ahead and look at the surface. So there's that storm that brushed us. That moves away. We do get a weak set up overnight that could bring in some sucky drizzle. Might even be sucky freezing drizzle because of the low temperatures at the ground. And then fair for Tuesday. You see we're in the southwest flow, but here comes the first system that's going to bring us again kind of a crappy Wednesday with some showers and then maybe some sucky drizzle in between. And then we have like a backdoor cold front that sort of pushes the temperatures back down again a little bit. And it doesn't go too far, but luckily it'll be fair on Thursday. But then Friday, here comes the next wave of moisture. Friday bringing us rain. Friday could be a pretty rainy day, unfortunately, it looks like. And then as we get towards Saturday, we're fair again. And then here comes that front. Luckily, there's no coastal being developed on this particular run of the Euro. Some of the other runs did have it. But you'll see the colder air coming in. But you see the center of that high kind of goes by the north, which indicates that, again, the cold air isn't going to make it too far to the south. And then another system would come in with more rain for another for the Friday after that. So, and then behind that, we would see fair weather returning there with high pressure and fair and seasonably cold. Nothing crazy again. That's as far out as the Euro would go. And even though you look at this and it's like, oh, this looks cold, but you notice that go to temperature anomaly, it's not cold at all. So because the cold air is shut off again. So yeah, even though we had a winter for a couple of weeks, some people are going to say this was a terrible winter. Yeah, it was terrible for part of the winter, but still, most of the winter is still turning out rather mild outside of that cold stretch. And that's going to also mean that this month probably won't wind up being as below normal as that's why I wanted to look at that preliminary data. It would be nice if I could load that. Oh, it did finally load. Okay, so here we go. We are running for the month still 8.2 degrees below normal, but that is probably going to be offset by all the milder weather we're going to have. So we'll still be below normal, but not. It probably won't be in like the top 5 coldest Februarys or anything like that. Probably. We'll have to see what happens when we get to the end of the month. So anyway, now that we looked at the European surface, let's go look at the GFS surface. So here's the GFS surface map. And again, you'll see. Yeah, we've got to go back. All right, let's back this up here to this week. All right, so you see there's that chance of showers. Wednesday is probably going to be kind of sucky. Thursday we get a break, but then more suckiness on Friday. And then we'll dry out again for Saturday. And then the GFS wants to have a storm now. So this is the 18Z GFS is trying to have a storm now. Interestingly enough, and that could bring another similar type of snowfall to what we just had perhaps if we got that storm, and then we'd have to deal with a lot of wind behind that storm. As you can see, those tight isobars, that would be next week if that storm develops or not. This is the 18Z GFS. I want to see if the 12Z GFS has it. Yes, it does. So the GFS does have it. The Euro does not have it. Right now, I don't think this is going to happen, and I hope it doesn't happen because I'm tired of the snow. But if this does happen, this could be a pretty significant snowfall if this were to happen. That's the GFS. We could look at some AI. Let's do the AI GFS. AI has it as well, but it has it much further north, and it gives us a soaker instead. And the European AI also has it. So both AI models do have this storm here. European is further south. We're going to have to watch out for this. Keep an eye on it. And right now, it's just too early to tell. But I'm tired of these storms. It's ridiculous. These big storms that keep forming. And that would also, look at how tight those isobars are. That could be a substantial amount of wind, maybe a high wind warning. This would be a pretty bad coastal storm. If we were to look at the wind here from this, yeah, this would be pretty bad. So this is the AI run of it. So this could be pretty bad. This would be a pretty bad storm if this were to happen. All right. GFS also, just as a regular operational run. It's a little further to the south, but it has a pretty powerful storm. And if we were just to look at the total snowfall from this storm, the GFS right now is not that high. It only gives us an inch or two. But again, if the European AI was right, let's look at the 12Z run. You see the 12Z run. Look at what the 12Z run gives us a foot. So you're going to have to watch this storm. I mean, I really hope it doesn't hit. I really hope it doesn't hit. But we'll have to see what happens. Let's see if the Canadian even has it. Kind of curious if the Canadian has it. The Canadian has it, but further, that's the Saturday system. The Canadian has a system on Saturday? It's a little slower, way slower. So we have a lot of uncertainty in these in the longer range of these models. Let's see what the Icon has here. I don't think the Icon's going to go out that far. No, the 18Z Icon doesn't. I'd have to do the 12Z Icon. 12Z also has a storm here, and a pretty intense one, too. So, yeah, this is definitely something that's going to have to be watched. Again, if we look at this, it could be a big, big snowfall if this thing were to hit. I really hope it doesn't, but I'll have to see. The Euro has this thing suppressed, but it has nothing happening, but we'll have to see it. Right now, the energy for this storm hasn't even developed yet, so but it's just something that there's a potential there that has to be, or should I say a signal that has to be watched for sure. And if that storm were developed, then it would probably bring in more severe cold, probably. And the kind of cold that would follow that storm, well, we can look at the European for that, I guess, can't we? So the kind of cold that would follow that storm would be highs maybe struggling to get to 30, and then, yeah, even colder for Tuesday. So, yeah, highs, we'll get in the 30s generally, but Wednesday it has it struggling to get up there. So, yeah, it will be a couple of really cold days for sure next week. And so there will be, depending on, and that storm, obviously the storm forms, it's going to make it even colder. So it would bring down even more colder air. But anyway, now we've looked at the longer range. Let's go to the shorter range, and we'll go to the HRRR here. And we will look at our dew points and wind flow, just to take us into tomorrow. So you'll notice the winds, unfortunately, do become southwest. I say unfortunately because it could mean furnace exhaust for me. We will have southwest winds. Fortunately, if you want warmer temperatures, it will bring in warmer temperatures and more melting. And then as we get to Wednesday, you'll see that we have this front that's kind of setting up in the area. And that's a boundary. That's going to have a stall front syndrome deal for a couple of days. And that is going to mean crappy weather. And you'll see the temperatures tonight, they'll probably drop into the 20s. With the increase in cloud cover, it'll probably put a little any radiational cooling. And then for tomorrow we'll see things warmer as the sun comes out. The sun peaks out later. Interior areas could get to 50, probably just 40s for Long Island. And then Wednesday is going to be a lot chillier. You can see where the warm front stuck. So we have stall front syndrome for Wednesday, and that means we're going to be dealing with precipitation. So looking at our precipitation map here, you'll see with this weak system here, this is the weak system right here. It doesn't really bring us any real measurable precipitation, but there could be some sucky drizzle for the morning, perhaps, as this warm front moves through. And then it's more of an issue on Wednesday where we start off with light rain, and you can see it kind of just stays damp throughout the rest of the day. And there may be, even though it's not showing any rain falling in the evening, there may be some sucky drizzle in there as well. So that is a possibility. Let's go and look a little further now. We're going to go to the NAM, which goes a little further out. Go look at this. So there's that system. The NAM showing, again, those little green dots. That could be some sucky drizzle in the morning. And then here we are Wednesday, dealing with, again, mainly light precipitation, but it could be mixed. Colder air kind of just off to the north there. It could be mixed just off to the north. And it won't really amount to a whole lot of precipitation. If we look at the total accumulated precip on the NAM, not very much. The HRRR showing even less. Not a whole lot of moisture with this system. Most of the forcing is off to the north. The HRRR is a little heavier with it, I noticed. So, but again, most of those higher amounts tend to be from the north, closer to where this front is stuck. So when we go further out, we'd have to look at the European model. And we'll look at the dew points and wind flow on the European as well. So here's the European. So you can see what happens as we head into Thursday. Winds start becoming north and northeasterly. And then you can see the front's kind of stalled right over the mid-Atlantic. So it doesn't get too far. I don't think it will be dry. I'm pretty sure it'll be dry, but still don't know how much sunshine there'll be. And then as you get toward Friday, here comes the next system riding along it, bringing us the next batch of precipitation. And then Saturday should dry out, hopefully, by then. So looking at the actual air temperatures here, we have here, and again, you can see the signal of a stalled front on Wednesday. And then that colder air kind of seeps down in on Thursday. So there's not really going to be a big warm-up here. Maybe close to 40 that day. I don't know if we're going to see 50 on Long Island. It doesn't look like it. And then we have the stalled front again. Cold rain for Friday. And then that's as far as we got on this particular run of the Euro. Saturday tries to warm it up over Jersey. Not so much over Long Island. And that's as much as we've got as far as out to Sunday. That's it. If we go look at these, again, this would show, again, the storm going out to sea. So this is the operational run of the European, showing the storm going out to sea, the 18Z run. However, all the operational runs keep the storm from forming. It doesn't have the energy coming together. So it's the AI runs that are doing this. So hopefully we'll have to see what happens. So keep my eye on this, obviously. But other than that, Wednesday it's going to be kind of gloomy and crappy. And then Thursday we get a break, which is dry, and then Friday here comes the next batch of rainfall. And again, there won't be any real soakers with this. If we look at the European here on total accumulated precip, it's showing maybe overall all the systems that we have, maybe a half an inch of liquid. So it won't be a soaker, but it'll be light rain and miserable and crappy. And then you're going to have that sucky drizzle in there too. Now the GFS over this time period also has similar amounts for precipitation as well. So that is what we're looking at right now. If we want to go a little further along here, we can look at the NAM as well. So this kind of shows all the systems that we have to deal with. So, and again, here's the Wednesday system. It's ain't going to be light, right? It's not going to be it's just going to be gloomy. So yeah, gloomy, crappy, stalled front syndrome kind of weather that we haven't had in a while. I haven't missed it, but that's what we're going to be dealing with. And with all these stalled fronts around, you can expect plenty of clouds around as well. So plenty of clouds for tomorrow. There may be some breaks toward the afternoon, but don't expect any nice blue skies. And then we might have clear skies early in the evening, and then clouds increase. Then Wednesday, we've got plenty of clouds with the stall. You can see the stall front shows up very well here on this cloud cover simulation on the RHM model. And then for Thursday, yeah, we may have some very heavily filtered sun try to break out. But that front doesn't really make it that far to the south, and so we'll probably be dealing with more clouds again. And then that's as far as this one goes. And sky models, I don't really go any too further. We can kind of show you the weekend here. It probably won't be too sunny either. So, yeah, that's as far as I'm going to go on the cloud model here. All right, so now that we're done with that, let's go and look at the climate model. Actually, before we do that, we'll go ahead and look at some of the other models that we can use to calculate if we're going to have sucky drizzle or not. So go over here, and should be a visibility parameter here on this Ventus Skies model. So you can see here, here's what we got here at 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock. It did show some sucky drizzle. Where did it show some? Here's 7, 10. It does show a little bit of sucky drizzle here. You can see 10, 1. See a little bit of it there. Oddly enough, it tries to bring it up in the afternoon a little bit. It might be fog. Could be some sucky drizzle over the east end. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some patchy sucky drizzle if you're right on the shore. Because the visibility is not good because the air quality is not good either. It's showing poor air quality inland especially. So that may be something to do with it. But let's go back to visibility. So that's what it looks like. And then as we head into Wednesday, that's when we're really going to be dealing with sucky drizzle. 7. Look at that. No, I don't know if that's fog or drizzle. It could be fog and drizzle. So we're at Wednesday. It's going to be, even when it's not raining, you're going to have this drizzle all around. It's going to be damp and crappy and just sucky. Wednesday is going to be a really sucky day for sure. And if we want to go a little further along, we can look at windy.com and use that one as well to show you again that we're going to have this damn drizzle around. So let's visibility. So you see as we go into tomorrow, you see the visibility come down. There's some patchy, sucky drizzle tomorrow, but it's Wednesday that you're really going to be dealing with it. Yep, there you go. There it is in the evening. So even when the rain stops, you're going to be dealing with the sucky drizzle and fog and stuff because you got this stalled front. And luckily Thursday is dry, and then we get to Friday, and we're back dealing with more of it. So so we got 2 days of really crappy weather this week, unfortunately, courtesy of the stalled front syndrome. So lastly, we'll go to the Climate Prediction Center and look at the 8 to 10 day outlook, the 6 to 10 day outlook, and you'll notice the above normal temperatures have been taken away from us. Now they just have near normal temperatures, and the above normal is staying in the middle of the country. So we're not even going to go that much above normal. And we have precipitation chances slightly above normal precipitation chances for us, with below normal in the south. The best chance for heavier precipitations out west with the storms that come. This goes from February 22nd to February 26th. And then we go to the 8 to 14 day, and you notice the above normal kind of creeps a little. It goes to a little more of a larger area. The core of it's still in the middle of the country, but we're still dealing with above normal precipitation chances. So that is what they're showing right there. So I guess that covers pretty much everything. Just try to enjoy the dry time we have because we're back in this crappy stall front syndrome, and you know how much I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I'll take the bitter cold over this. I really would. The snow, maybe not. I don't really like the snow, but definitely I would take the highs in the teens. Again, I wish that was coming back, but unfortunately, it's not. Okay, I do want to just go right back to tropical tidbits one more time. Just a few more things, extra things that I want to go over here. Let's go to the Northern Hemisphere view. We'll look at that polar vortex, which unfortunately... Oh, that's the wrong one. Here we go. So you can see it's over the other side of the globe, and that's the problem. And it's kind of going to stay there, unfortunately. So that's where the cold air is. It's all on the other side of the globe. So it's we're not going to see any really cold weather. We have some cold that will come through, but nothing like what we had before, unfortunately. So for all those people who are saying, "How we don't get that feature with the European." For all those who are saying that, we get this is a bad winter. This is a terrible winter. Well, yeah, it was bad for a couple of weeks, but still not not like the winters I remember. Yeah, right. You get cold. What's unusual is we had the cold for so long, but usually it's spread out over the whole winter instead of just part of the winter. So anyway, just go to the sea ice thing. I know that they're not really providing that much data, but you can still see. Yeah, we're still below normal here on the sea ice as well. So yeah, global warming is still happening, folks. So I'm gonna tell you, it's still happening. We're still seeing abnormal weather patterns, and that is definitely going to be evident this week. You can see this looking at the satellite. Nothing about this looks normal at all. So anyway, that's all. Thanks for watching, and have a good night. And I'll probably be back with another weather video as we get toward the weekend. It's just gonna suck. That's all. It's just gonna suck. And no decent skies to go to the Pine Barrens or anything like that. And we don't even have any warm weather to really melt all the snow. So we'll melt a little bit of it, but I don't think it's going away completely anytime soon because we don't really have any real LLJs or any real surges of warm air because we have this messed up jet stream pattern now. So anyway, have a good night.